How did Kyle Edwards change the dynamic for you today?
Yeah, I thought Kyle was likely our most dangerous player. I thought he did a great job. I know he came back from international duty, which he played two 90-minute games. So I think his fitness is getting up to the level where we need him, and so we didn't doubt it at all to go to him early in the game because we felt like we needed him.
Talk about how he opened up space too for Elvis to play a little bit differently without him just with his back faced to the goal, his back to the goal. He was playing more facing the goal today. It seemed to open up some space going forward.
Yeah, well, I mean, Elvis is above everything. He's a number 9, so he's used to playing with his back to goal. It's one of the reasons we brought him because we feel like he can hold the ball well and he can get us out. But we needed more, and in particular in this game where I felt, the team was ready and we give up a goal right away, and I think that kind of shocked everybody because I could tell for the next 15 minutes the team just wasn't the same at all. We looked probably, I would say, the worst we've looked so far for the next 15, 20 minutes after we gave up that goal. And then finally we started to get going again. We felt like, we could get Kyle some service, and we brought him in, and I think he made us better.
Coach, you mentioned last week that despite having taken 14 shots in that loss, it didn't really feel like you created those chances. Is that feeling different after today's game, obviously having taken the shots and created those chances in the late stage of the second half?
To be honest, I haven't seen all the stats from today, but I know that we created some chances and we should have done better. We had a few shots blocked at key moments in which, to be fair, they defended very well. We threw as many numbers forwards as we could, knowing that we would be vulnerable in the back at times. But I think that's a chance we had to take because I felt like today was a game we needed to win.
Along those lines, I know 1 point is clearly different from grabbing 3 points, but do you feel sort of a momentum shift seeing that at least here at home it was an improvement from last time?
I can't help but feel disappointed. 1 point is better than getting no points, obviously, but I think we were coming in with the confidence of getting 3, and we're not thinking about anything else. And we realize that in a game anything can happen. But even though we gave up that goal early, I felt like we have enough to turn the game around and win it. But unfortunately, we couldn't do it.
How are you prepared to handle the quick turnaround going into the U.S. Open Cup on Tuesday?
No, I think we're ready. What's unfortunate now is that, when you look at us having 2 guys out, Andre and Kembo being out a little bit, let's just call it long-term, mid to long-term. And now to that, you add the fact that Tristan Hodge has a red card from last year's Cup competition, so he's not eligible. And you add to that the fact that Joel Quist has already played in this competition with another team last summer. So now you're down 4 bodies and you have a quick turnaround. So certainly not easy. But I think we need to approach the game with the seriousness that it requires, and we have to win the game. 1, because we'd like to advance and get an opportunity to play an MLS team, and 2, because we need the confidence. We need to get going.
How do you feel that Jaseel and Danny played today? Rate their efforts. Jaseel seemed to give you some energy, some getting back, doing some different things, but it's clearly not the midfield that you probably would put out first choice. So can you just, going forward, just saying all that stuff right there, where do you see how their effort was today, knowing you might have to use them long term now?
I thought Jessiel in particular was excellent today. He's the kind of player, we have to remember he's a young player, has very little experience as a starter in this league. We've given him the minutes, we've given him the confidence, and I think today it showed. So I think the fact that, maybe other guys could have done a little bit better, had the other guys done it a little bit better, I think we get the result, but I certainly feel like Jessiel did a great job. Danny, on the other hand, obviously he's been out for a long time. He had surgery in the offseason. We've been bringing him along a little bit at a time. And today it required for him to play more minutes than we wanted, actually. We were hoping to get him somewhere between 45 and 60 minutes. Had to play the whole game. I thought he did quite well. Didn't play in his position. We had him play more of a defensive role once we took Beverly off so that we could have ammo go into midfield. So I thought he did well. It was a good show.
Connor too, getting some of his first minutes today too. That's something where he can play play sort of that deep defensive role too? Is that important, to get him some minutes now and see where it is, especially knowing that both Andre and Kevin might be out for a stretch?
Certainly helps, Connor's case. We really like Connor. Connor's a very good soccer player. He understands the game, reads the game well. I think ultimately, we can use him as a center back as well. So we've been working on him in both positions. So I really feel like he's an important part of the team. He's a player that, although he's not that young at 24, I think he's still coming along, and he's someone that can certainly help us.
You made that attacking switch. We talked about Edwards coming in the later stages of the first half. What was the thought process or the reasoning behind making that substitution in the first half rather than waiting for halftime?
Well, normally you don't want to make a substitution in the last 5 minutes of the first half because you're kind of showing your cards to the other coach where they can at halftime make adjustments. But I felt like I didn't want to waste 5 minutes. I felt like, it was a 38th minute when I, looked at the assistant coaches and I asked them about, what do you guys think? Let's just go for it. And I think it was the 38th minute, so I think it was maybe the 40th when he came in. But I think he made he had an impact right away, and so it ended up being a good switch.